Now, joining us to discuss the ongoing crisis in the DRC is a foreign policy analyst, Bolu Michael-Biyi, who joins us live from Kigali, Rwanda. Bolu, once again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let's talk about this mess which these countries find themselves with tensions rising in the DRC. How likely is it that the crisis could spiral into a full-scale regional conflict, as many fear, given the involvement of other East African countries like South Africa as well and Malawi?
Well, thank you for having me. The issue is supposed to be strictly between Congo and Rwanda, but we are seeing external forces or states, being involved. So it has already escalated, and there's a chance that it may escalate further, because these countries, they have a stake in the economy of Congo. They have a stake in the resources, the things like that. They operate in the country, so they are getting involved because of to protect their own interest. And South Africa, they are not even they're not even part of the East African community. South Africa is in Southern Africa, same as Malawi. But these countries are involved. The SADC as well as deployed troops, to Congo. So the risk of it escalating is quite high because of the various alliances in this crisis, and also respective rivalries that have existed for many years.
So Rwanda has been accused of supporting the M23 rebels. So if regional and international bodies intensify their push for accountability, what political repercussions could this have for Kigali?
Rwanda is very strong when it comes to its reputation. They don't joke with their reputation at all. So the allegations that put the country in a precarious situation. And if the regional and international bodies begin to ask for greater accountability from Rwanda, Rwanda may find itself being punished with maybe sanctions or isolations or damaged reputation. So this allegation kind of undermines Rwanda's effort in, portraying itself as a stabilizer in the region.
So in your view, what diplomatic measures must Rwanda and the DRC take to prevent further destabilization?
All right. Every challenge has a root cause. I mean, this back to the time of King Leopold. This is the issue. Then the Tutsi and Hutu genocide. It has its roots. And if both leaders have to commit themselves to finding the solution to the root causes, and they need to negotiate, and they must begin to implement the accords that have existed. It's not like there's no framework for peace in this crisis. We've had the Luanda Accord. We also had the Nairobi Accord. There's structure in place for peace. So if they can just put their ego aside or their differences aside and commit themselves to these accords, I think they will find a way forward. They must also engage international and regional partners as well, because mercenaries are fighting in this war. So all the parties involved, from the rebels to SADC, international community, all the parties involved, Congolese and Rwandan leaders, they all must sit together in one room and actually discuss and try to negotiate. The armed conflict doesn't lead to anything, but we've seen negotiation work in history, across the different crises.
It's very interesting to see both gentlemen sitting down together here, and I'm glad that you actually raised or brought in the issue of history. Is it actually history? You talked about King Leopold and the confusion he might have left these countries in. However, is it history that's the main cause here, or is it the minerals that are at stake? Profit, especially with Rwandan interest here. Rwanda, whom we know are not even producers of cobalt, but yet are big exporters. So what exactly is the root cause of the issues?
Yeah, the thing is, the M23, the March 23 rebels, they are Congolese Tutsis. And we have the President Kagame himself is a Rwandan Tutsi. It's just like the Port Novo Yorubas, the Cuban Yorubas, and the Nigerian Yorubas. They're all Yorubas. They're all Tutsi, irrespective of where they're from. And the rebels, M23, they are basically kind of protecting the interests of the Tutsis in in Congo, according to them. So I think it's more about the resources. Take the M23 away, then I believe Rwanda will not be able to export what they don't have. So I think it's basically economic interest, and the Tutsi M23, they are sympathetic to the economic interest of the Tutsi in Rwanda. They are all one. They used to be together before they kind of split, before the Berlin Conference that split the continent into different. So I think it's economic interest, and that's why other countries are getting involved as well to kick them to M23 out so that they can protect their own economic interests further. So I think it's basically economic interest.
Yes, indeed, economic interest. And a correction there, I think the mineral is coltan, not cobalt. I'm correcting myself. Thank you very much, Bolu, for lending us your afternoon and being on this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.